A good day to you. This is Change Radio News. Today is Friday, the 13th of June, 2025. The news read by Olive Rushizo. And here are the headlines. President Chamisa to launch a new book. Citizens warned of ZANU-PF VARAKASHI propaganda and MNANGAGWA sidelines POLAD. And now for the news in detail. Zimbabwe's popular politician, President Nelson Chamisa, is set to launch a new book called Citizenocracy: Leadership by and for the Citizens. Announcing it on social media, Chamisa called it a must-read. The book introduces his unique political ideology, Citizenocracy, which champions citizen-centered governance. This comes after Chamisa stepped away from the Citizens Coalition for Change, or CCC, a party he co-founded, stating that it had been hijacked and deviated from its core principles. Meanwhile, Zimbabweans are being warned to be wary of ZANU-PF VARAKASHI, or social media defenders, who are accused of spreading propaganda and political hatred. This follows ZANU-PF's announcement that it had donated high-tech equipment, including laptops and smartphones, to its online loyalists. Political analysts are dismissing this as a desperate move by a party struggling to deliver a better life for citizens. They argue that no amount of online campaigning can hide the failures of Emerson Mnangagwa's rule, citing widespread poverty, collapsing hospitals, broken schools, and rampant joblessness, while political elites are accused of looting public funds. Members of the Political Actors Dialogue, POLAD, are reportedly growing desperate after being sidelined by President Emerson Mnangagwa. POLAD was formed in 2018 after disputed elections, bringing together losing presidential candidates from smaller parties in what critics called a stage-sponsored charade designed to create an illusion of engagement while avoiding genuine electoral reform. The main opposition leader, Nelson Chamisa, was excluded after rejecting the election results and refusing to recognize Mnangagwa's presidency. Analysts have long dismissed POLAD as merely a patronage network lacking genuine opposition voices. Two top executives at Rusape Town Council, Togarepi Nerwande and Maurice Tekwa, have been suspended following their arrest by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission. They are accused of unlawfully allocating a 10-hectare plot of land to a private company for a solar project. The duo was granted $100 bail each in Mutare and ordered to remain at home. Though not legally banned from work, they received suspension letters from reporting to duty on Wednesday. A full council meeting next Friday, June the 13th, will confirm their suspicions and name acting replacements. Former council engineer Arnold Kutoka faces similar charges in the same case, which allegedly defied a 2018 Ministry of Local Government directive due to zoning issues. In Gutu East, ZANU-PF is reportedly intimidating opposition members ahead of tomorrow's by-election. Independent candidate Gift Gonese has issued an SOS for his campaign leader Jaco, who is allegedly being pursued by police and ZANU-PF members on false accusations. Gonese believes this is an attempt to disrupt his final campaign efforts. The officers and ZANU-PF members are reportedly driving a Mahindra and Ford Ranger. Voters in Gutu East are urged to support Gonese, with critics pointing to ZANU-PF's 45-year rule resulting in economic decline and corruption. The by-election features Zivana Njenga of the NCA, Zvarevashe Mashingise of ZANU-PF, and independent candidate Gift Gonese. In Chipinge, Ward 5, citizens are ready to vote in tomorrow's by-election despite reports of ZANU-PF violence and intimidation. For more on this, Change Radio spoke to a senior opposition supporter, Mr. Moyana. Let's hear what he has to say.
Good morning, citizens. Good morning, Change Radio listeners. We are here in Ward 5. We've done our campaigns. We've done our rallies. One in Ward 5. One was at Kondo. The other one, the last one yesterday, at Musapingura. Despite the fact that ZANU is planning to rig elections, but our voters, our citizens who are backing President Chamisa, who are behind President Chamisa with our councillor, Godfrey Salani, we are going to win without any hassles. We are really going to win. ZANU using all techniques of intimidation, beating people, our supporters and other ZANU people, they don't want to vote for ZANU candidate because she has been imposed. And our candidate, our councillor, Godfrey Salani, is our incumbent councillor and is our councillor for the ward and for President Chamisa. What blue, what counts blue, red or yellow, we are going to win this ward. Our champions have been beaten up yesterday. 180 stage 3 ratings, and the other ones were beaten at Chipangai High, and some were beaten at Mikiri, and one of our really strong supporter is in hospital right now. Despite that, we are going to win. And the ZANU-PF has imported people from outside. They are lodging at MNANGAGWA right at the moment. They are there by MNANGAGWA Kondo, and they are moving around with their cars, beating up people. And we don't want to revenge, but we have the capacity and we have the right to revenge, but we want to keep it calm, and we are going to win come tomorrow.
In economic news, international corruption watchdogs, including Transparency International Zimbabwe, are working to restore sanity in the country, but critics argue that institutions meant to fight corruption are often enabling it. With Transparency International Zimbabwe holding another capacity-building workshop for key anti-corruption bodies like the National Prosecuting Authority, Zimbabwe ZACC, Police Anti-Corruption Unit, ZIMRA, and the Attorney General's Office, many citizens view these efforts as mere formalities. They argue that these institutions, while existing in name, had their powers curtailed, leading to a lack of public confidence despite training aimed at boosting investigation, prosecution, and asset recovery skills. The Center for Natural Resource Governance, or CNRG, has raised serious concerns over what is called massive looting of Zimbabwe's lithium resources under the current administration. In a statement, CNRG revealed that up to 3,000 tons of lithium ore are being exported daily, with an estimated of 1.6 million tons already shipped in the past 18 months. The organization warns that local communities are being devastated and the country is gaining very little from these exports. CNRG criticized the government's decision to ban raw lithium exports starting in 2027 as too little too late, suggesting that at the current rate, strategic reserves may be depleted by then. The watchdog blames corruption, weak regulation, and smuggling for worsening the situation, leading to water shortages, environmental damage, and social instability in mining areas. CNRG also accused Chinese companies of dominating the sector with little regard for labor rights or the environment, calling on the government to act decisively to protect resources and ensure local communities benefit. In our weather report, a deadly tornado is expected to hit Durban in the next few days as South Africa and the SADC region brace for another spell of severe weather conditions. Residents in affected areas are urged to stay alert and follow local advisories. In international news, in a miraculous turn of events, a British citizen, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, is reported as the sole survivor of the Air India Flight 171 incident. It is reported that he escaped by jumping from the airplane before it crashed. Kumar Ramesh was reportedly in seat 11A next to the emergency exit, making his survival a truly astonishing outcome from the devastating accident. Meanwhile, a stark contrast in political succession is emerging between Zimbabwe and South Africa. While ZANU-PF is reportedly trying to ensure President MNANGAGWA remains in power beyond 2028, pushing back the youth, South Africa's ruling party's Youth League president, Colin Malaji, is calling for those over 65 to retire. In his words, Malaji stated, "You cannot say people aged 65 must go to pension, but the one who makes the laws aged 65 is still working. President Ramaphosa must be the last president who is a pensioner." This stands in sharp contrast to Zimbabwe, where some ZANU-PF youth and supporters are allegedly prepared to go to extremes to keep a so-called pensioner in power beyond official term limits. At least 78 people have died in South Africa's Eastern Cape province following heavy floods caused by a powerful winter storm. Authorities confirmed the tragic toll earlier today, with several people still missing as rescue operations continue. The torrential rains and snowfall caused by rivers bursting their banks, sweeping away homes, vehicles, and even a school bus, with children among the dead. Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane described the situation as heartbreaking. Search teams, including the South African National Defence Force, are working around the clock using helicopters to reach stranded residents. Entire villages have been cut off and vital infrastructure has been destroyed. Relief groups say thousands have lost everything and urgently need shelter, food, and medical aid. A state of emergency has been declared, and President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to visit the affected areas. Experts warn this disaster underscores how climate change is increasing extreme weather severity, with more rain forecast. And in the Middle East, Iran's state media has confirmed the killing of the Iran Revolutionary Guards commander-in-chief during alleged Israeli air attacks this morning. Major General Hossein Salami was reportedly martyred in an attack on the IRGC headquarters. Israel reportedly targeted Iran's nuclear facilities, ballistic missile factories, and military commanders at the airport in what it warned would be a prolonged operation to prevent Tehran from building an atomic weapon. Iran has reportedly responded by sending drones, which have been spotted flying through Syrian airspace allegedly en route toward Israeli territory. In sports news, the Warriors Legends have released their squad for the upcoming Clash of Legends games. The 22-man strong squad features prominent names including goalkeepers Gift Muzazi and Tapiwa Kapini, with their field players such as Edelbert Dina, Masimba Dinero, Dumisani Mpofu, Ezrom Nyandoro, Tinashe Nengomasha, Ronald Sibanda, Method Mwanjali, Desmond Maringwa, Willard Katsande, Peter Ndlovu, Agent Sau, Herbert Dick, Alois Bunjira, Joel Lupala, Kaitano Tembo, Senzo Moyo, Edward Sadomba, Oscar Machapa, Gilbert Nushangajike, and Alexander Maseko. The team will be led by former Sheffield United and Coventry City striker Peter Ndlovu. ZIFA has reportedly engaged FIFA in an effort to bring video assistant referee technology, VAR, to the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League. This comes after a string of poor match officiating decisions, with some extreme cases leading to match abandonments. ZIFA has repeatedly suspended match officials recently due to questionable officiating. However, with the country currently lacking FIFA-approved stadia, it remains to be seen if the World Football Governing Body will grant ZIFA's request for VAR. To end the news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. President Chamisa to launch a new book. Citizens cautioned to be wary of ZANU-PF VARAKASHI propaganda, and MNANGAGWA sidelines POLAD members. This concludes our bulletin for today. Thank you for listening. From myself, Olive, and the entire team at Change Radio, have a blessed weekend.